Alright, hey, welcome back to my daily weather forecast video. It is 8:03 p.m., December 4th, 2025. I didn't post yesterday since since I was taking a break from doing YouTube videos. But we do have lots of things to talk about. Lots of clippers, winter storms are really gonna impact the Midwest, and I'm thinking the potential threat area for those clippers could be potentially this area. So if like in this area and you love snow, well, you're gonna get some in next week. But we are looking at a potential winter storm. That according to the European model, that's definitely gonna be evolved into the Mid Atlantic. And we saw this threat as a nor'easter threat. Turns out it would just scrape. It would just scrape the Mid Atlantic and then it would just transit out to the sea. Following that, we do have this big clipper, which we're also tracking. This will move generally eastwards. So I think this clipper path can be right about here. This is upcoming December 7th, 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday. We're gonna take an early look on what the snow totals could be in a moment. But I want to cover first three clippers that we're going to see. That's in the European Model 12Z one. Here's our first one. High pressure system dominates most of the central United States. Then here's this very big clipper. It also looks like this is a wall with a big tail that's also going to bring line of snow bands, and when you see snow bands, that could be potentially dangerous. Chicago, Western Michigan, Milwaukee, Eastern Wisconsin, you guys could be in the main front area. It's also going to transit as a lake effect band, and here's the next one. Really impacts more of the northern Great Lakes. But we do have this second one that I'm also looking at. After this one, but this one, it's still far away. It's about 8 days away. Still have lots of things to discover, especially about these two clippers. But looks like another line of snow event. Like I said, now the area is more widespread, especially across here. This could potentially develop as a winter storm. Moisture is enough to make like some rain and potentially sleet. But if it does form, I think like rain, snow, and could definitely be here. So if like in this particular area, you guys are gonna see the heavy snow, and stuff of that, just rain or clouds, not even anything. That clipper actually, that one clipper, this one kind of forms as a nor'easter. Really not much of one. But it does reassemble a nor'easter, and but it's not too strong. Right after that, it's just clippers. Is all the European model is seeing. We're going to go to the long range outlook because it is Thursday and I usually post long range outlooks on Thursdays. Here's the CFS models. This goes out 768 hours, which is quite long. So like I said, here's our first clipper. Here's our second. Here's our third, according to the CFS. And then here's our fourth. And then that was the nor'easter I'm talking about. For the CFS, it looks more dangerous and more widespread, but I think this is more of an overpower on the model, which means like they think they overdone it. And then anything out from here is a blur, but it does show like storm after storm after storm. I do think this will be an incredibly stormy pattern and a way to start winter. Speaking of which, meteorological winter just started December 1, not a few days ago, so that's pretty cool. See, stormy after storm, dip after dip in the jet stream. We're gonna take a look at the snow depth. Is what the CFS model is saying. These areas the CFS cannot somewhat cover for I don't know why. What kind of snow depth really? It stays in the north, But look how south this can extend, and look at the heavy snow that the CFS model is putting out. Like, this is how far south the CFS models are saying the snow can really go. The southest I've seen is like probably up to here, which is quite insane. Being this far south, even parts of the southeast could potentially be seeing the first flakes in December. Yes, December, which is quite impressive. Looking at the temperatures, we're going to 2M ADL temps. Like I said, dip after dip after dip. Like, let's just roll this one out. I'm gonna just play this and show you how many dips will see. It's multiple dips, but also multiple rebounds of warm air, especially in the southern plains. But you can see dip after dip after dip after dip, and somewhat most of these dips crawl very, very southward. Like this one, this dip, the jet stream dip, crawls up to here. Here's another example that the CFS model is saying. This dip in the jet stream, Rockies. Here's our jet stream, way down in the southeast, parts of Florida even too. Really cold air for the Midwest and the Northeast is what I'm just saying. Like, tons of cold air. Like, you guys are gonna see constant single digits, 20s, 10s, negatives. Here's another one. Here's another example. Wow. Well, what a nice dip in the jet stream. That shot of Arctic air really comes in. Negatives across the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, and the upper mid-Mississippi Valley. And look how far the dip goes, especially with this Arctic blast expected, forecasted after Christmas. But look how, if there's like a southern dip coming out of here, maybe a winter storm could potentially happen in the south. If jet stream really dips this far down, which I think it would definitely will for periods of time, and a southern jet stream really comes out of here, I'm thinking a surprise winter storm for the south. Maybe 1 or 2 is my best prediction for this winter. That is really over high. That is really over that is really, really, really rare, is what I'm trying to say, but I think this could actually happen. Because of the stormy weather we've seen so far, we're seeing storms forecasted in the European model over here. We've seen storms across this particular part of the United States. That's already one half of the country that's seen at least more than 5 snow days. Most of them are pretty much snowstorms. Taking for example the post-Thanksgiving Winter Storm Chan, Winter Storm Bellamy, Winter Storm Alston, and then multiple just quippers coming in from November to right now. I think more of them are really going to come. Speaking of which, the National Weather Service has really talked about this, especially the Chicago area. Here's what it says. An active northwest fall pattern will result in multiple Alberta Clipper type disturbances tracking towards the western Great Lakes region. So I'm talking about Illinois, Wisconsin, maybe parts of Minnesota, maybe parts of Iowa, the Upper Peninsula. There's potential periods of snow and travel impacts roughly every other day. So we're talking about 1 day gaps of like every Clipper, starting Saturday night and lasting through next week. So what that means is that lots of snowstorms, Clippers, winter storms will definitely impact areas north of this line for about a week. And these winter storms can happen the other day, so like a 1 day gap of this happening. Here's our uncertainty though. The exact track of the systems will determine if and where in the Chicago area snow occurs and amounts. But this is really giving the word of more of the Great Lakes region, the plains, the Midwest, the upper Midwest, and the upper Mississippi Valley. The upper Mississippi Valley. You can also see that's also quite probable. Yeah, there's our jet stream, and really it's a northwest flow. So you have your polar jet stream and your Pacific jet stream screaming in together. And then you have this dip in jet stream to, of course, bring your very cold air. Let's show you an example. So this particular dip in the jets, like, these are two jet streams merged together. First, you have that polar jet, no, you have the Pacific jet stream, then you have the polar jet stream screaming in. And when those two combine, but just a cutoff here, when those two combine, definitely potential for winter storms in this area, since the winds will blow southeast. But if this cutoff actually never existed, we could see like a transnational storm. Like here's a potential low. Like if this actually happened, really a big storm track. That's really gonna impact parts of the Midwest. That's pretty much what I have today. Oh, I also covered the snow totals for these upcoming Clippers 12Z run. Let's roll back to where we are today. Going to winter weather 10-1 ratio. So here's our first winter storm. We're gonna zoom in. Mid-Atlantic. So here's what the European models are saying for the upcoming winter storm. That's actually tomorrow. 5 inches of max, maybe more if you're like in the mountain zone. So like potentially up to 6 to 8 inches of snow in the mountain zones. But if you're on the ground, I think you guys will just be seeing like a maximum 5 inches of snow. But if you're in this particular area, like I said, mountain zone, definitely 7, 8 inches of snow. But anywhere north, south, anywhere north of this line or south of this line, we're just gonna see like a trace, maybe up to 3 inches, 4 inches of snow, is what I'm currently forecasting. This particular area, don't forget, not this area. You guys could just be seeing, like I said, 4, 5 inches of snow. Not anything happens really there in the Mid-Atlantic. That's just that snowstorm that you that we're seeing. Here's our first Clipper. We're gonna look at the snowfall amounts for the Midwest. There we go. Bah. Oh shoot, too far. So here's our first Clipper of really heavy snow, especially in Iowa. So like up to 7, 8 inches of snow, potentially 10. But we'll see how the details will lay out. This is very far away, but if we're like in like Chicago, most of northern Illinois, most of southern Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, Nebraska, really South Dakota, maybe Missouri, Indiana, maybe. You guys are just gonna see like up to like 1 to 4, 5 inches of snow. Actually no, 1 to 4 inches of snow sounds really accurate in my opinion. We're gonna cover the next Clipper, which is this Clipper. We're actually gonna use it's a 10-1 ratio again. Really gets worse from that second Clipper. Here's our snowfall totals by December 19. Heavy snow here, heavy snow there. Mostly heavy snow, especially for north of this particular line. Lake effect snow really gonna destroy Western Michigan, but like I said, I'll cover that second Clipper. So here's that second Clipper. You guys are just gonna see like we're gonna impact more of Michigan, more than like Illinois. Just mainly the far northeast side. But you guys could potentially say if you want to make Michigan, maybe up to a foot of snow. But if like Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, you guys are just gonna see maximum of 3 inches of snow. Thank you for watching my video. This weather forecast video. We'll give you guys an update on these upcoming Clippers, these upcoming dips of the jet stream. Goodbye.